All right, so hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is Dr. Rachel. I am a short-term rental investor. I wanted to come in and talk to you about why now is the absolute best time to get started with your short-term rental investing. So for those of you who are sitting on the sidelines, waiting for interest rates to go down, there are some alternative solutions for you out there. So let me move this here and I will share screen so that we can dive right in. All right, so for those of you who are with me tonight, I really hope you can see my screen. There we go. I think we're good to go. Okay, so I want to check on my phone real quick to make sure that I am live. And I thank you for joining me. For those of you who are joining me, this is more of an ad hoc training. And it's primarily because we had quite a few individuals who stated they were not able to get access to the link. So thank you again for joining me. Just wanted to go live and cover some of the things we covered last night. This recording will be available for 24 hours. For the VIP members from the summit, it will be available in the portal for you until January. So just so you know. All right, so guys, stay with me. And if you do, you stay with me until the end, I am going to give you an opportunity to get your hands on some extra special announcement bonuses, and we will give you the details at the very, very end. If you have a moment to spend with me, please feel free to turn off all distractions. I know that some of you are probably commuting, you're trying to do the things, but if you turn off distractions, that will be great because I have some important information to share with you regarding tax savings. We're talking about how we're going to amplify your short-term rental cash flow, and it's and finish strong, really finish strong in 2022. The strategy that we're going to be pulling, the lever we're going to be pulling is your cash flow tax strategy, okay? So I just want to take 1 or 2 minutes to introduce myself if we haven't yet met. My name is Rachel. This is my husband, Jesse. He is a retired psychotherapist for the Atlanta Public School System. He worked with at-risk youth. This is my family, Ethan and Luke. Ethan's in high school, Luke is in middle school. Our puppies, Peggy, Dash, and Hopper, they are a mess. I am a pharmacist by training, and if you look closely, yes, this is us at the Netflix filming studios in New Mexico, completing the show that was just aired this past September. And this is the film crew at one of our luxury short-term rental properties. But it wasn't that long ago that I was this baby pharmacist just on the struggle bus, like many of you, born in Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, raised in Miami in the inner city, but went on to get my doctorate. I worked my pants off to get my doctorate, but sadly, this came with a whole lot of student loans, like nearly $500,000 worth of student loans. So my husband, Jesse, and I, we worked nights, overnight shifts, and multiple shifts. At one point, we had 5 jobs between the two of us, but we are super grateful to be on the other side of it. And I got to tell you, real estate investing has changed the trajectory of our lives, and leveraging tax strategies have really made some of the biggest changes. And that's why I'm here today. I don't want you to believe the biggest misconception, which is that most people think you need millions and millions of dollars to invest in real estate. There are ways to leverage real estate without having to invest a whole lot of money. Fast forward a few years after paying off our student loans, we have had the great pleasure of speaking on multiple platforms, podcasts, Rich Dad, Poor Dad co-author, Sharon Lecter, women's investing, in real estate. Had the great pleasure to get interviewed by Amy Porterfield on Online Marketing Made Easy. Just such a wonderful experience to speak in front of multiple medical professionals, women at investor conferences such as Bigger Pockets. Pharmacy Times was published there. Just really, really grateful to share our story and share what it has been like to be a host with short-term rentals. Also had the opportunity to publish a bestseller earlier this year, Hospitable Host as well. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, husband and I, we were able to get featured on a Netflix TV show, By My House. And in case you missed it, it's a TV show that's streaming now. Homeowners from across the US, we got to pitch US properties for sale to investors, moguls. And so these properties were actually pitched to the Redfin president, Barbara Corcoran's CEO of her company, Corcoran Group, and a couple of others. And here's a quick recap. So we bought the property a couple of years ago for $462K. It was generating anywhere from 15 to 21K per month. It peaked, I want to say, at 28K per month. And on the show, an offer was made for 725K. So she initially asked, I believe, for 725 actually, and I countered at 900 and we settled at 770. So it's been a really interesting ride for sure. But what I want you guys to know about me is that I'm going to teach you today some of the insider secrets that we have used to leverage and create a lucrative short-term rental portfolio. And the reason for this is that we've had the great pleasure of being able to purchase and manage for other investors over 22 luxury properties, hosted over 3,000 guests with reviews averaging 5 stars, and have generated over 3 million revenue since 2019. Out of the properties that we both own and manage for other investors. So when it comes to creating and launching a luxury short-term rental, I know what works, and you better believe I know what doesn't. And that's why I'm really excited to share with you our investment strategy today as it relates to taxes. So 92% of our business revenue comes from my short-term rentals. I get to say no to the projects that drain me, and yes to the projects that light me up. Oh my goodness. And that is make the biggest difference, because I know a lot of us, we are on that struggle bus. We are going through the grind, but can you really imagine what it would feel like to be able to just say yes to the projects that truly, truly light you up? I would love to see, hang on one second. I'm trying to see if we have any comments. I just would love to see some yeses in the comments if you are joining me, but I'm not able to access my comments at the moment. Let me see if it's somewhere that can be found. Nope, it's not letting me find it. All right, but it is all good. But what I also want you to know is that, contrary to popular belief, you only need 1 to 2 top performing properties to be insanely profitable. And so we have managed to build systems around our business as a mom, a doctor mom, pharmacist mom with a whole husband, 2 boys, there's 3 dogs. I forgot the dogs. There's just no way that I would be able to manage a whole other job. So what we teach in our program is how to manage your short-term rental portfolio in less than 3 hours a week. And the way we do that, again, is we leverage 1 to 2 properties. All you need is 1 to 2 to be insanely profitable. And it really is the secret to buying back your not only financial freedom, but your time freedom to start to create that life that you are dreaming of. Okay, so here are my pillars, guys. No joke. For amplifying my cash flow, I have 5 key strategies to amplify my cash flow, as well as one that we don't talk about too much, but I will be teaching on very, very soon. Okay, so lending products, upsells, direct booking, amenity optimization, advanced tax strategies. And the one that I haven't mentioned is risk mitigation, which has been such a key pillar as well. So let's go ahead and dive right in. So when I go and I mention increasing strategies for increasing our ROI, a lot of individuals are really a bit, I want to say, bearish right now with the tax and the interest rates rather. Yes, they are higher, but for those of you who are still working your W-2s, there are tax strategies and tax hacks that you can leverage, okay? So just looking at these three here, advanced tax strategies, pricing optimization, and passive streams are three strategies that we leverage to increase our ROI by greater than 80%. We have seen 80 to 200% increase in our gross ROI based on using these three strategies here, okay? And this is really what has helped my husband to retire in his 40s, help students within my program to purchase over $11 million of real estate in the last several months and cut back on their 9 to 5, okay? We're talking about tax strategies, pricing optimization, passive revenue streams, and we are going to dive in over the next several weeks on the tax hacks that really juice your ROI. I'm talking 1031 exchange, bonus depreciation, material participation. And so these are some of the strategies that we are looking at and we're leveraging, okay? So why taxes? This month, we're going to really be focusing on taxes because I believe that that is a key pillar to bring back some revenue into your business. Here's the deal. There is an occupancy nightly rate battle, right? A lot of individuals are all in on, you know what, let me drive down my nightly rate. It's going to be a race to the bottom. I'm going to drive down my nightly rate in order to I would say gain more nightly, more guests staying, increase occupancy, right? But here's what I want to challenge you with. Not all properties require that. So when we did a study on our properties, we quickly identified over the course of I would say 6 months to a year, that there is an ideal occupancy percentage for properties that are 5+ bedrooms. And it is not 90%. It is not 95%. It's not 100%. We make the most revenue when we're at about a 65% rate, occupancy rate. Okay. So for those of you who are new to working with me or hearing me speak, let me just rewind a little bit, because here's the deal. Someone mentioned to me not too long ago, Rachel, what in the world are you talking about? But for those of you who are well initiated with me, so bear with me for a moment, because I really want to make sure this is clear for those who are sitting in the back. Okay. Here's the deal, friends. When we start our short-term rental business, oftentimes we think like a long-term rental investor, right? We want every single night. We want to squeeze all of the nights out of each and every property. So for instance, if I have 4 nights that are booked 1 week and then 2 nights or 3 nights are vacant, I am fighting to get those 3 nights booked in order to make sure I have 0 vacancy. That's how I started. That's how a lot of new short-term rental hosts start out. But bear with me if you can. That is not the way, because certain properties do not require that. Okay. In order to get those nightly rates, nightly stays booked, oftentimes you would have to go ahead and reduce the daily rate. So instead of, say, you're booking at $250 a night, you're now down to booking at $150, $195, $57. I have seen it with my own 2 eyes, and I really warn against it, because oftentimes you will end up serving a clientele that you maybe weren't prepared to serve. When we reduced our nightly rate significantly, the clientele was different. We experienced damage to the property. We experienced lower reviews because we didn't have that buffer or the margin to get the product back into tip-top shape. The next thing you know, we're giving refunds. So overall, it was better for that property to sit empty than for it to be booked. Okay, so that's what I am talking about here as it relates to actual short-term rentals. Oh, my camera just went off. As it relates to actual short-term rentals. So I encourage you, do not feel the need to have every single night book. Midterm rentals, we will continue to talk about that. Those rentals, we can actually push the nightly occupancy to 80, 90, 100%, because they're staying, 4, 5, 7, 11 months at a time. So that's a whole different story. But as it relates to short-term rentals, I'm talking about 2 nights minimums, 3-night minimums, 1-night minimums. You do not need to push the occupancy rate that hard when you have a larger property with significant amount of amenities that need to be maintained. Okay, so bear with me there. So as an owner, a small business owner, for those of you who are looking to venture into your first or next short-term rental, you are a small business owner. There are levers that you need to know what to pull to increase your profitability. And I want to empower you again to increase your profitability. It does not have to be a occupancy play. As a matter of fact, you can leverage other strategies. And what we're focusing on right now is tax strategy. I will be talking about upselling strategies, passive income strategies that you can add to your portfolio as well. But for now, we're just talking about tax strategies, okay, for this next few weeks, because I don't want you to miss out on a huge tax savings that will end this year. So 100% ends this year. Next year, there's an 80% version of this tax saving. There's legislation for that. The following year is 60%, but right now it is 100%. And this is why a lot of members of my community, my members, my students, they are rushing to purchase their property because they do not want to miss out. That's why I'm here tonight with you, because friends, don't let friends miss out, okay? So with all that being said, tonight I'm going to cover the 3 must-know tricks to save big time on your STR taxes. I'm going to share with you why you need to work with the right professionals, okay? So this is not necessarily the time to go cheap on some of these professionals, especially if you're starting to create a reliable source of cash flow. I'm going to actually go over which specific professionals you need to partner with and to invest in, okay? I will share with you the frequency of your connecting with them. I will share with you the different tasks that they're primarily responsible for. I'm going to put this out there. Not all CPAs are created equal. We'll talk about that in a moment. And again, as I emphasized a little bit earlier, why right now is the time to invest, even if you think the market is scary with the interest rates, okay? And then I'm going to share with you the next 3 upcoming guest speakers, experts that you will have the opportunity to connect with as we go through these tax strategy trainings over the next 3 or 4 weeks, okay? So I hope that helps. I'm going to pause for a moment because I do want to see if there are any questions before I dive all the way in. So where are you, Google Chrome? All right, there we go. Let's see. I really hope I'm streaming. Oh, Latanya, I see you, Latanya. Yay. Okay, am I streaming on all the places? Let me see. It says I am. It says I am. I'm gonna take its word for it. So for those of you who are joining me, please feel free to say hello in the chat. Just drop an emoji, a heart, anything, just so that I can know you're here. I really hope you find a lot of value from tonight's training, because again, want to add extra value for you tonight. I'm just looking here. It appears that the title of our session tonight is an old title. Let me see if I can go ahead and update that to make sure that we're sharing the right information. I don't know if it's going to allow me to update it such that the oh, hang on, update it while we're live, but you know what? I'm going to give it a try. And I thank you so much for your patience as I give this a try. Okay, I just updated it, and I'm saying the description, I'm going to put it there. Tax strategies. All right. It says it's updated. Is it true? Let me know if you see whether or not it's true. Last time we spoke about, Oh, hey, yay. Okay, someone just says hello, joining via Facebook. Please feel free to go ahead and go to chat.restream.io. That is chat.restream.io so that I can know who it is that is saying hello. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It just says Facebook user on my end, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and dive back in. 1 second, please. All right. And I'm going to go back and share my screen. Here it is right here, share screen. Boom. There we go, there we go. Awesome, so I am back on screen share. So I don't know if I'll be able to see the chat, I doubt it, but I'm back on screen share. So going back to the slide right before, so we spoke about the importance of taxes. These are the 4 pillars, so to speak, of the tax strategies that we leverage. Just wanted to point that out real quick. So guys, hang on 1 second. There is some knocking on my door. Let me check it out. All right, I am back. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So 1031 exchange, material participation for those of you still with your W-2s, cost segregation studies, leveraging the professionals. Okay, so let's dive right in. All right, so there are 2 different levers when it comes to working with tax professionals, right? So you want to make sure that you are looking at both the compliance lever as well as the strategy lever, okay? As the CFO of your company, as a small business owner, you are your own CFO. Unless you're making $3 million or higher, I do not recommend that you hire out a CFO until you are making that amount of revenue annually. I would say a couple million a year. That's when you can probably sustainably hire a CFO full time. Right now, there are virtual or fractional CFOs available. I would say when you start to make closer to $1 million, you can definitely leverage the help of a virtual or fractional CFO, depending on what industry you are in. But we're going to be focusing primarily on real estate. So when it comes to real estate investing, or any type of tax strategy for any business, you want to look at the compliance, make sure the compliance is up to par in your business as well as the strategy, okay? Do not neglect the strategy side of things, okay? So as your own CFO, like I said, you're serving as your CFO. The CFO is responsible for managing the financial actions of a company, for managing the duties of the cash flow, financial planning, as well as analyzing the company's strengths, analyzing the weaknesses, as well as proposing corrective actions. So that's what the company's CFO is responsible for, okay? So you'll notice that as I say CFO, that is more of a strategic role. Now, compliance is make sure you're paying your taxes on time, make sure if there are any types of remitting lodging taxes, those things are done correctly as it relates to the state as well as federal. You know, you're following the rules, you're filing correctly. So when it comes to compliance, that needs to be in place. But when it comes to strategy, that's something that oftentimes we neglect. We neglect the strategy side, but that is where you're going to be able to generate the most revenue, is when you go into the strategy side, okay? So compliance and strategy, I've mentioned that a couple of times, and here's a table that I created and curated just for you. And so in this table, I want you to really understand who it is that you need to add to your tax support team. You do not add all of these individuals all at once. I'm going to go step by step to let you know which is your first hire, which is your second hire, and so on and so forth, okay? So we will cover all of these different columns of individuals. So you have a bookkeeper, a tax preparer, which is a CPA, or it can be an EA, which is an enrolled agent, your tax strategist, your controller slash virtual CFO or a fractional CFO, cost segregation specialist, and a qualified intermediary, okay? I did not mention the whole full-blown CFO because a lot of you who are just starting out, or if you have a W-2, typically you're gonna be your own CFO. You want to understand and be accountable for what is going on in the business. So we're gonna talk about these different roles. So your number one hire, guys, your number one hire, the very first person I want you to hire is a tax preparer. So goodbye TurboTax. For those of you who are doing your own taxes, I would highly recommend that you hire a tax preparer, okay? So you're with me here tonight because you've either started your journey with investing in real estate or you want to invest in real estate. And so having someone else prepare your taxes is going to be really important unless you yourself are a CPA, unless that is your secret sauce, that is your jam, that is your magic. Fine, okay, but I really recommend that small business owners do not do your own taxes, especially if it is not your sweet spot, okay? So again, a CPA and an enrolled agent are going to be the individuals qualified to do your taxes, okay? But here's the deal, one CPA and another, like not all CPAs are created equal, so bear that in mind. Not all CPAs are created equal, okay? Now, I want you to take your time to make sure you're interviewing each of these different roles to make sure you understand what they're going to be delivering, what they're not going to be delivering. The last thing you want to do is be messy like me. Don't be messy like me. Like you're paying this person to do some things and then you're paying someone else to do some things. You're doing some things. Everything's interwoven, hot mess, okay? Hot mess. The reason I am teaching this is because I have been through so much mess with my taxes and I decided, you know what? I need to do better. I need to be better. And so I enlisted the professionals to come and support me. And that's why I'm here with you today, because I know you're busy. I know the struggle is probably real for you as well. And I just wanted to come and share that with you today. All right. So as you look at each and every one of these tasks here, I have actually identified for you who is going to be most likely the individual to take care of that task. So for instance, the second one here, the tax and they track and code the expenses. Each expense is tracked and coded. The bookkeeper is definitely the individual that can take care of that for you. So Y is yes, absolutely. M is might be able to, and N is not usually part of their responsibility. So yes is yes, that is their responsibility. Typically M might be, and N is not usually their responsibility, okay? So all of these tasks, feel free, up to cost segregation, feel free to ask the questions, do you take care of this? Do you take care of that? And again, one size does not fit all. One size does not fit all. You do not necessarily have one individual that can do all of the things, okay? Some are better than others with these different roles. So you want to really identify what's going to work for you. For me, I like having a CPA that is a real estate investor that understands real estate. If you're in another specialty, definitely you're going to want someone who understands that different niche, and you want to make sure you understand enough that you can ask the right questions, okay? So again, your number one hire, your first hire is to hire a tax preparer. That's the first person you want to hire is a tax preparer. Have them do your taxes for you. Say you just have a W-2, you're like, Rachel, I'm not about this entrepreneurial life. I'm just a straightforward W-2. Well, in that case, you may not need it. But if you're looking to invest in real estate, I want you to go ahead and outsource that, because I want you to be in your best and highest use. And if you're not a CPA or an enrolled agent, I'm afraid that the tax piece of it is not going to be your best and highest use. Okay. So put down the TurboTax again. Hire yourself a qualified tax preparer. Hire number two, when you start to generate reliable revenue, okay, I want you to hire a bookkeeper. That's hire number two. When you start to, when there's cash flow, you start to collect some cash, you have a couple of properties here and there, I want you to hire a bookkeeper. They will help you keep all of the receipts straight. They can help with accounts receivable. They can help with that. They can provide you financial statements that you need to leverage when you're purchasing property. So profit and loss statements or P&Ls. They will help track your expenses. They can help you with a payroll if you have that. So you can ask about that. They may be able to, they may not, depending on that particular company. They can help with budgeting, tracking your budget, and things like that. Okay. So again, your next hire is your bookkeeper. Your third hire. So when when things are starting to cook, your third hire would be a tax strategist. Okay. So when you start to generate a good amount of profit, or anticipate you're going to generate some good profit, that's when I would like you to take a look at hiring a tax strategist. Again, say you have a straightforward W-2, not too many changes. You may not need a tax strategist, right? Because the tax strategist, again, this is not a compliance lever. It is a strategy profit generating type of lever, right? And so there is going to be an investment. So the cost of a tax preparer, the cost of a bookkeeper is going to be less. Those two are your compliance components. The cost to hire those two is going to be less than the cost to hire a tax strategist, okay? Strategist, now this is the individual who is going to help you to maybe structure your entity. It's definitely a strategy play. So it's going to cost a little bit more to hire a tax strategist. Now, a lot of people ask, well, isn't the CPA a tax strategist? Not necessarily. They may be. Your CPA may also be a tax strategist, but not necessarily, okay? So those are the questions you definitely want to ask. They specialize in strategy for tax savings, and hang on one second, as well as helping to determine your quarterly tax payments, okay? So definitely take a look at hiring as tax strategist when you start to generate a profit, or if you anticipate you're going to generate a sizable amount of profit for that year, okay? So that should be your third hire if in fact you meet those qualifications. So again, down here, when to hire, I said tax preparer now. Second is your bookkeeper, and third hire is your tax strategist. Now, when should you hire, say, a virtual CFO, someone who's a little bit more hands-on into your business? If you're generating, I would say, greater than $500,000 in profit per year, you might want to look at hiring a virtual CFO, or that individual who is going to be overseeing, your budgeting and tracking it, and seeing what kind of levers to pull in order to make sure that they're forecasting what the next quarter is going to look like. And so they're going to be more lock in step with your business. They're going to have a better picture of your business. They're not going to be as expensive as a full-time CFO because they're fractional, they're part-time, but it is an investment. And I want you to think of it as an investment. It's almost like you're investing in your company to get an ROI, but that's when you start to generate, I would say, greater than $500,000 in profit to look at hiring a virtual CFO. So I don't want to go too deep into it. Again, I'm going to say that I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a CPA. I'm just letting you know what my experience has been as we continue to build our short-term rental tax support team, because that is one of the biggest components of us creating wealth, is purchasing property and leveraging tax strategies that are out there for us, okay? So the next two columns, you would only hire, let me go back. When I say hire these individuals, again, these are not people who are on payroll full-time. Oftentimes you're meeting, for instance, your bookkeeper, they're going to have other clients. You're meeting them monthly. You pay them the fee to track your expenses, to code your expenses. You're meeting them monthly. Your tax preparer, you're meeting them maybe once or twice a year, right? So they're not full-time staff. When I say hire, do not think you're hiring full-time staff for your tax support team. Tax strategist, again, transactional. It's not going to be necessarily someone there all the time. It may be one or two transactions a year. Your virtual CFO, It's going to be a little bit, tighter and a little bit closer, but still not a full-time employee. And same with the next two, your cost segregation, and maybe one time every several years, right? So your cost segregation specialists, they are going to be helping to, I would say, conduct that study, the cost segregation study, that is going to allow you to depreciate your property on a faster schedule, okay? And so this year, this is what I was alluding to. This year, we can depreciate 100% bonus depreciation. Next year is 80%, and next year is 60%. The following year is 60% based on the legislation that is out there, okay? So it helps to protect your cash flow from taxes, helps you to get more cash flow, which is chef's kiss. And that this honestly, I really believe that this exceeds any of the fear that I have with the increase in interest rates, okay? And last but not least, the qualified intermediary. You want to use a qualified intermediary before you sell your property. So if you have an investment property, you're about to sell it, go ahead and enlist a qualified intermediary. If once you make that profit, you can protect your capital gains. Okay, it's going to capture your capital gains taxes. You can apply it to your next property, but the money cannot come to you. The funds cannot come to you. The qualified intermediary helps with this 1031 exchange transaction. Okay, so I want you to be making the best business decisions. And so these are the tax strategy. These are the individuals you need for your tax support team for your short-term rentals. Okay, so I hope that helps. All right, so I teased this a little bit earlier. Our next weekly lives, we're going to have Tom Castelli from Tax Smart Real Estate. You might know him. He and Brandon Hall, they both work together. Love the real estate CPAs. Next, we have Amanda Hahn. She is a tax strategist for Brandon Turner from Bigger Pockets. I am so excited to be co-writing a book with her, co-authoring a book with her. We will be launching that end of October, finger crossed. Our other tax strategists speaking on how to finish strong in 2022. And we will have a live Q&A for Ryan Bakey as well. So the 11th, the 18th, Ryan Bakey, stay tuned. We're going to let you know when we have this scheduled, but he will be showing up live with us at our retreat. And so I'm super excited about that as well. All right. And so one of our members of our community, Quay, oh my goodness, super excited to have her. She is going to be sharing her firsthand experience utilizing the tax strategy that I've been alluded to, the cost segregation study. Okay, this is how she was able to save over $100,000 in taxes just last year, and why she's rushing to get another short-term rental this year, another one the following year, until she, leverages all of the tax savings based on the legislation that is out there. So be sure to tap in with us Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern. I know today's Wednesday. No worries, but it's going to be Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern. I cannot wait for you to join us, okay? So wanted to highlight and showcase a few of our students. This is Karima, super excited about her. She actually is my member who has really cornered the market on her midterm rental strategy, was able to make over $36,000 in 2 months leveraging midterm rentals. So she is one of the ones who hosts a lot of insurance homeowners, luxury insurance homeowners, and she stated how this was so significant, it almost exceeded her teacher's salary. So a teacher, guys, super excited about that. This is one of our other members, Dr. Dada. Oh my goodness. She joined us beginning of the year. She said she really wanted to learn from the best, not waste her clock hunting and pecking for information. So she was looking for a comprehensive solution. And so when she joined, she's able to leverage her property. She leveraged the 1031 exchange tax benefits that I have been talking about, okay? She leveraged that, launched with her team. She stays here in July. It was filled every single day. at $11.25 per night. She hadn't visited the property since February. So way to go, Dr. Dotto, with leveraging your team. We have Deanna. She's a realtor from California. She thought she was not going to be able to purchase a short-term rental beyond her dreams. She started off looking at the arbitrage method, but I did a deep dive. I said, let's dig deep. Can you purchase? Is it possible for you to purchase? And now she is the proud owner of a beach close to the beach townhouse. And she is super, super excited. She is an STR owner in real life. Short-term rental owner for those of you who are not yet initiated in real life. And she is really excited to be in the luxury short-term rental game. Speaking of beach, Annette, a retired nurse executive, again, she actually was going in with the route of short-term rental arbitrage. Now she's building a beach house. Hello, guys, 72 days. Ramya, I'm so excited to share her story. Ramya, she took 72 days to set up her property. And actually, she was out of the country. She leveraged our team, our designers. She works in hospital IT. She used to be a pharmacy technician. And so she went into healthcare IT. She accessed the resources within the system while working full-time, heading overseas, getting married there. She was able to launch her property, brand new construction, in 72 days. She earned Super Host right before setting foot on the property. And so one of our members of our specialty coaches in the community is an interior design coach that hosts bi-weekly design audits as well as mastermind meetings. So super excited about that. Another case study, Tim and Carolyn, our pharmacists, they were working around the clock. They were able to forego some long-term rental woes, joined the program, bought a new property on the beach again, opened up this STR out of state, leveraging our design team, and was able to generate over $8,000 in bookings in a week and a half. And so this is while, and as you can see here, this little sonogram giving birth to baby Chloe, parents for the first time. I am super proud. And so now, as of last week, I want to say they launched their second short-term rental, and just super excited for them there. Again, leveraging resources within our team, they are able to purchase out of state and get it set up out of state. And one of our members, Vince, was able to complete part of the course. I would say he really digested quite a bit of it in 9 days, and then tapped in, leveraged the resources within the community, was able to launch his first short-term rental, and is now projecting to make over $300K on this particular property over the course of the year. If you want to work with us in our program, we do have a program where we train those who are looking to get started on their first or next short-term rental. You can still go to shorttermgens.com/live and let Ms. Carol know. Our program, there's really no program like ours. It's a complete concierge program where you get access to all of the training curriculum, at least 20 small group coaching sessions with me, as well as other industry experts. So we have an automation expert, market analysis expert that create like as custom property analysis list for you for the markets you're interested in, what type of property you should be going for, right? So our market data analyst expert is absolutely phenomenal. Interior design expert, tax strategy expert, revenue management. If you don't know how to set up your nightly rate, I train all of this as well, but let's say I'm like a 7 or an 8 on revenue management. I bring in the 10s, the Cornell trained hospitality management, revenue management expert coaches into the program to make sure that you're good to go, to make sure that you have your questions answered and you're able to troubleshoot as well. So again, go to shorttermgens.com/live if you have any questions about the event or the program as a whole, and I look forward to seeing you there. Again,